always serve a look. I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't
'Cause you know
care. I
what?
don't care
We
if
we
I'm
don't dress.
overdressed.
We
And
dress
I
for
always
ourselves.
get people and like when I get invited to things, people are like, "Oh, it's
Mhm.
very casual. It's very casual." Like they point to me because they already know I'm gonna turn up in a look, and I just ignore it. I'm like, "Bitch, I'm gonna get dressed up. I don't care about what you're gonna wear, what you're gonna wear, or how whatever the vibe
Exactly.
is. I'm gonna feed off of like where we going,
Right.
and I'm gonna look cute regardless.
Right.
Cause I'm still single. I don't know who I'm gonna meet, you know? So
Okay.
no.
So I
Yeah,
don't even
I
know.
got invited to prime example, I got invited to like this like country uh, club and it was Latin
Mhm.
night and I pulled a look. I was wearing my like faux fur and then I put a little cowboy hat and my boots and I had these silk pants and like this turtleneck because it was cold. I look cute. And I turned up
Okay.
to my friend's house and he was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And he completely changed to a different outfit, a more
Nice.
suiting outfit for the occasion. But he felt
Perfect.
pressured by me to do so. And I didn't mean to do that. I was just like, girl, we're going out. We're going to a country club. Like, I'm going to look the part. I don't know what you're doing. You know, I'm going to serve a look.
Why not? Why did you see that timeline thing that I posted on my IG where it showed like fashion
Oh
from
my God,
like
yes, that was so
yeah,
cool.
of course I got that from Anthony, but I was like ask me why as it was going through the timeline, the fashion got worse as it approached to modern day. Like it went from like gorgeous fashion, fashion, fashion to like modern day fashion. It was like athleisure wear.
Yeah, that's
I was like, what is going on? Why don't
that's what I'm
people like
saying,
dressing
I'm
up
over
anymore?
it. Because COVID made us all, like, be at home and have that mentality that we
Weak.
should be feel comfortable, and, like, of course, companies took advantage of that and started pushing, "Oh, well, let's be comfortable. Athleisure wear for everything, every occasion." And then
Right.
big companies also, hopped on that trend and
It's
pushed
true.
their, like, streetwear, which is more casual, you know?
It's true. I mean, look at
That's
Louis
why I'm so
Vuitton.
glad that Gucci has a new director, creative director, because it's I'm okay if Gucci doesn't do streetwear anymore. Like I'm sick of it. I'm
Mhm.
tired of it.
Wait, what are your thoughts? I watched one of the fashion shows. What did you think of it?
I liked it. I feel like it's
Which
slowly
one did
going
you
back.
watch?
I watched the
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 one with
most
the
recent one.
green? I think there's like two. There's one that's
They were
like,
like off the elevator.
was it? Did you see the one where it had like a circular stair? It was like all green, like green carpet. Everything was green.
Oh, I don't know which one that was then.
Yeah, because there was like a hole in the middle, and people were like sitting inside, and there were stairs that went down, and then they went back upstairs, and it was just like green carpet. Everything was green. I wasn't feeling it.
No. Why?
I don't know. It was boring. It was
What
just,
about
and
it was
then I
boring?
was nothing was serving anything. Like, I mean, there was a couple. Like, I liked a pair of sunglasses. I liked a couple pieces, but it was like I don't know. And then I read a whole thing about like where the inspiration came, blah blah blah. And I think it was like a revisit or an homage to like Tom Ford's Gucci.
Mhm.
And I feel like it was so far from like Tom Ford Gucci because I honestly feel that was when Gucci was at its best.
Oh,
When
for
Tom
sure.
when Tom
That's
Ford was at the helm of it.
that's the
That was like
Gucci
when
I
it was a
miss
fire.
and love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it was like sleek, it was like really chic,
Sexy. Everything about it was
sexy.
sexy.
Yeah.
It was a lot of silk, a lot of fur, like
Yes, tailored. It was just looked
monochromatic
expensive,
look.
rich.
Oh, it was so
Yeah.
luxe.
And now I'm like, it looks like, I guess maybe they're trying to go for like the day version of that because it looked very, I don't know, like not so luxurious. Like it
Well, I
wasn't
think
giving
they're
me
slowly trying to change it because, the Gucci client now is so used to the athleisure wear that they don't want to pull the rug under them and be like, no, that's not Gucci anymore, you know?
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I
there
think
was
they're like
a pair of
slowly
like,
changing that, you know.
yeah, there was like some pearl earrings that they were like really big and dramatic and hanging that were kind of cool.
There was a lot of things that I liked. I mean, I'm a Gucci fan. I'm always gonna be a Gucci fan.
But would you pay like $3,000 for it?
Well, no, I get my
That's what I'm
discount.
saying. I know, but like if you were like a wealthy customer and you had the choice of any designer and then you saw some of their stuff, would you like invest $2,000-3,000 in a dress from that collection? I wouldn't. I would go
Mm,
somewhere else.
I'm more of an accessories person anyway.
Yeah, but I'm just assuming we both have like money isn't an object. You know what I mean? I would go
Well,
somewhere
if that's the
else.
case, I would just buy it anyway.
I would just go to Loewe or something. At least it's
Oh, I love
interesting.
Louis.
You know what I mean? And there's so many like new designers out
Oh,
that
did
I
you
was
see the
looking.
new Ferragamo show?
Yes. Okay. I like that. I liked it. Did you
Like,
like
is
it?
Ferragamo the next like
It is. It's the new
Bottega?
thing. Yes.
It's the next Bottega or
Yes, and
like
I
Loewe.
love because they kind of did that whole like thing that Louis Vuitton did by taking like classic accessories and like blowing them up into like cartoon jumbo sized
But everything looks
bags.
so fierce. Everything was
It
so
does.
chic. I'm
It
like,
does.
okay,
Yes.
Ferragamo.
Ferragamo. I would go to Ferragamo and drop the $3,000 for the dress.
Okay, well,
Not
yeah.
at Gucci. That's what I'm
Well,
talking
not right now,
about.
yes.
I mean, I'm hoping that this is just like a little warm up. This
I
is
think
just
it's a
like a
warm up.
warm up.
Honestly, I think it's a warm up.
They're
Come
not
on, like
giving
think
you
about like the
everything.
past. What? How many years was Alessandro the director? Like
Six,
6 years.
six,
6 years.
5 or 6. Yeah.
Think about it. It was a lot of like athleisure wear, and so he built, a
Well,
client,
he
and
was.
now.
I felt like his vibe was very like maximalistic. You know, it was very
I mean,
like
a lot
over
of
the
it was
top.
70s inspired. He had a lot
Yeah,
of platforms, a lot of flares.
a lot of
Like
like
I,
accoutrement.
yeah.
It was just it kind of looked like the bare bones of that the new collection. It was like stripped all of like the flair out and just gave me like the bottom line. I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't a fan. But there are a couple things. There are a couple things that
I
were
like I
cute.
mean, I like those bags. I was actually looking at a vintage bag that looked exactly like that. So
Yeah, and I was like, not the
it's
old
good to
like
know that
horse
has
bit
taste.
because they're bringing
I
back. They're
love a
trying to
horse
like
fit.
the horse bit bag. And I was just like, okay, I'd rather buy the vintage horse bit bag than buy
Yeah,
the new
that's the
horse
one I'm
bit.
looking at. I'm following it on the real real.
Not that. But anywho, going back, we're talking
Going
about
back to why we
fashion.
compare everything to New York. It's just New York is fabulous. What
So
can
the
I say?
people, like the people that judge you for
Mhm.
for like comparing everything to New York, what do they say
Yeah.
to you? Like,
Well, not all of them told me. They told one person specific, and that person was like the messenger. But
uh-huh.
they're like, "Oh, she talks about New York a lot, doesn't she?" It's like, "Oh, she comes everything to New York. I don't want to hang out with her. All she talks is about New York." I
Well,
was
then talk.
like,
Why don't you show me something fierce in Houston?
"Okay, that's not about dick and ass, like,
That part,
thank you, that part."
right?
But
True.
whatever. I'm gonna be the stuck-up friend who talks about New York, who thinks she's all that. And guess what, bitch? Yes, I am.
Not that. I am the snobby bitch. Okay, I'm taking that label and I'm running with it. But yeah, I think people aren't offended by me. They're just like, oh my God, we talk about New York so much. But then a lot of times I'm getting a lot, oh my God, you're making me want to go to New York now. And that's more
Oh,
what I'm trying to do is to
yeah.
get people. And I'm like this with everything and everyone.
Oop.
Okay, so we're back.
We're back.
So what were you talking about?
I don't remember.
I think we're talking about like what um the people that judge you,
Oh, right, right.
like what are they saying about you? Like, what is it? Why do they think that you're a
I feel
snob?
like they feel that I'm like dissing stuff here, which I'm not because Houston has his own thing, and I never want to diss Houston. I love Houston,
Mhm.
but it just doesn't compare to like what New York offers. And again, like you said, you put
Mm.
it in the right words where I'm only expressing it because I want them to experience the same thing. And it's not a
Yeah.
diss. And I think they're taking it as a diss that I'm like bringing down Houston because that's all they know. And for some reason they feel like I'm attacking that.
So what do they always talk about?
I don't know because I don't pay attention.
Are they
No, no,
straight
no,
or
no. I'm
are they
kidding.
straight or gay?
No, no, they're gay. So all they talk about is like
About
their gay
sex.
lives and sex and like, like,
That's all men talk about, I feel. Is like sex.
sometimes I want to switch it up and I want to talk about something fabulous that doesn't include someone's horrible dating life that's like a revolving door.
I get what you're saying. Like
I
people
just
aren't
want more excitement. I just want more excitement out of the conversation. Let's talk about something cool. Let's something about something recent. Let's talk about fashion. Let's talk about it's just not. I guess they're not there where I'm at, and I feel like that's where it's clashing. And
Mhm.
I'm having a hard time
No, I get
relating nowadays, relating and
Yeah, because
having,
you've had different life experiences. Are
yeah.
you older than them or younger than them?
No, for the most part, we're the same age.
Okay, so they've just had the Houston lifestyle, and that's what they're used to,
Yeah.
you know?
And for the most part, most of them only know Houston, you
Yeah.
know?
And you
And
know what?
that's just not that that's a bad thing.
Yeah. And if I was new to Houston, I'd want people to like I would want to surround myself with people that would show me like the cool, unique parts of Houston that make Houston fabulous. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm waiting for, and I want
And
them
you
to,
feel like
like, point me
nobody's giving
out.
that to you.
No, and I have to come here and search for it. Like, I'm the one, like, looking for the hottest spot, looking for the newest thing, and they're just not into it like I am?
Yeah. Yeah,
They don't get
exactly. So
excited about food, they don't get excited about, like, a new bar opening or
I don't
live, like,
understand that.
I don't either, so I'm having a hard time connecting in that aspect because I want to, like, experience Houston, especially because Houston's grown so much over the past 12
Mm,
years, and it's gone way more exciting, and I feel like my friends here are not as excited for the change of Houston.
right. And I
Like
feel like too, like people say I dog like Las Vegas sometimes. And I'm like, okay, then show me. Show me fabulous things. Show me like cool, amazing things like that you could convince me otherwise. Cause that's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? And I'm like, why am I looking for it myself? And why aren't you like for somebody who's like lived in Vegas their whole lives? I've yet to find someone who I feel is well versed in like the cool, like awesome, like local places to hang out. Like where
Right.
like show me like the little hidden secrets.
Seriously, nobody in here knows that, and I
They
have to be the one
yeah,
coming, to do that, and it kinda gets annoying because I'm like, "I didn't live here for the past 12 years, you should already know all this." Like, I'm looking
yeah,
to you to guide me again,
yeah.
reintroduce me to Houston because obviously it's changed so much. I've missed, you know, all the new restaurants, all the new bars, like, where are they? Show me. And they have nothing to show for it, and, I get
See, and
frustrated.
that's the difference too between like New Yorkers and everyone else is that we like New Yorkers keep themselves abreast on what's happening. Like even like
Thank
people
you.
that aren't necessarily into food or fashion, they like they get exposed to it somehow, some way. If it's through their significant other, if their friend
Right.
goes like, "Oh, I went to this restaurant, you should check it out." There's a lot of sharing that happens with people in New York. Like that's one of the topics of discussion when you hang
Right.
out with somebody. Like, what have you been up to? Like, oh my god, I went to this new restaurant. You should go. Let's go. Let's go this weekend. Like, that doesn't happen here. People
Yeah.
don't do that here. They'll go to a restaurant and be like, oh yeah, I went to this restaurant. I'm like, okay, how was it? It was good. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
like
that's what I
tell
get
me
too.
more. And then like
That's
introduce like
exactly what I get.
if it's amazing, like say, hey, like let's go to this restaurant that I went to like a couple weeks ago. I think you'll love it. Like that does not happen here. I'm sorry. It doesn't.
Ugh, and but that's
That's
the
why
thing.
I
I'm
get
here.
upset.
I get upset too, and I come off as a snob. I'm actually
Right.
curating a list of Houston, like by neighborhood, with restaurants that either I've been
That's
to
it.
or I saw an article about or I saw it on TikTok, and I'll go and try to experience it. But like I feel like the people that I'm hanging out with, right, certain people, not everyone, don't get excited like I do, and
Right.
it's kind of like I rather not go and wait for the right person. Like when you
Right.
come, like I'm so excited when you come because now I can go through my list because you're gonna be just as excited.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go into the experience open-minded. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's another like topic of discussion is like I feel like when you move to a place like New York, and this doesn't even have to be New York, it could be like abroad, internationally, like just a big life change from your constant normal life that you had before. Like don't you feel like you've kind of out sometimes I even hate saying it, but sometimes I feel like I've outgrown some of my friends from the past. As much as I love them and I've known them forever or like known
Yeah.
them since we were kids even, like they don't get it because they're comfortable in their little bubble. And then I'm somebody who likes to constantly challenge my ideas, my tastes and things, my
Mhm.
everything. I like to challenge myself
Correct.
by exposing myself to new and different things. And some of my older friends, they are just comfortable and they're used to like their day to day that they don't really find excitement in any of that. And I'm like, I can't relate. I can't relate.
Well, that's the thing. We're not they're not relating to us and we're not relating to them. And it's not to say that their
Hmm.
lifestyle is wrong. It's just we're at a different we're in different spectrums, you
Yeah.
know.
We're
They've grown in
still.
their own ways and I've grown in my own way, but I feel like
Hmm.
it's we're not finding a medium where I'm just like having a hard time, you know, getting excited to see them because it's like, "Oh, we're going to do this. Oh, okay. I've been here before." Like, where's the excitement? I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's just me trying not to like, you know.
Not be like a stupid bitch. Right, I get
Correct.
it. Like
Mhm.
you try to hold yourself back from like,
Mhm.
but it's like, what? You've never done this? Oh, you've never,
Right. Yeah.
Like
And
I have,
I don't want to do that.
yeah, I have friends, for instance. I'm not gonna name names, but I know people that I'm like, oh, have you ever like I'm craving some like Japanese ramen. And they're like,
Ooh.
right. So I'm like, I want ramen. I'm like, love ramen is one of my favorite things. I'm like, have you ever had ramen? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, what ramen place do you like going to? What do you mean ramen place? I eat the ramen in the packets. And I'm like, from like the grocery store? And they're like, yeah, that's ramen, right? I'm like, oh child, you haven't had a real bowl of ramen? And they're like, no. And I'm like, I mean, like, I am, like, gagged, like, I'm like, "What? You've never had" and I've had people that say I've never had, like, a real bowl of pho or, like, Korean fried chicken or just, like, different, like, things that are
Oh
so
my
normal to
god.
us, like, hello, we like ramen on the weekly in New York, you know what I mean?
Seriously. Oh, I miss that for sure. There's not good
So,
ramen here, but there's definitely pho. Good pho here.
yeah, and there's good ramen here. There's good ramen
Oh,
here.
okay.
Yes. So, and I find it odd when people like don't like, and they live here in Vegas, and there's like good ramen places down the street, and they haven't taken advantage of it. I'm like, so you're telling me I've had more experience with this than you have, and you've lived through your whole life? And I'm like, I
Can we talk about
mean,
that? Like, why am I the one curating the list?
right? Aren't you the one supposed to be telling me what to
I've
do?
only been here like I guess less than a year, and I'm the one who's telling everyone where to go. It's like, what?
No.
But
Yeah.
I have to because the places that I've been taken to, it's just uh, like
Basic and
underwhelming.
boring. Oh, absolutely.
And it's like, oh well, we went there 12 years ago. Why would I want to go now? Like, no. Unless it's a nostalgic thing where I'm like, I'm craving and I specifically want to go there, you should not be taking me there. I
Right.
want to go somewhere cute, somewhere new. Let's go. Like, let's feed off the Houston vibe. Like, Houston is popping. Like, why can't we with Houston? I don't
Right.
understand.
So that brings me to the next thing is that then I'm thinking maybe I'm just not around the crowd. Like that crowd of people that have similar
Mhm.
interests as me.
That
And
that could be true.
yeah, but then at the same time, I am yet to find this elusive crowd. There is like no one here that I relate with. I honestly feel like I honestly at work there was one what was it? There was something that happened at work. It was along the lines of like I was noticing everyone at work was like being clicky, and they found their group and they found their friends
Mhm.
within the work, and they would all hang out outside of work, and I wasn't necessarily invited. Not that I really necessarily even wanted to be invited, but I haven't found my clique. And I was like, why haven't I found anyone that I relate with? And I literally got emotional and started crying. I
Did
literally
you
did.
feel lonely?
I did. I was like, I'm crying because I missed my life in New York.
Oh my
I
god.
missed having my friends. I miss like calling them up and be like, "Hey, let's go hang." I missed that, and I was like, "Why haven't I found those people here in Vegas?" And I'm like, so I started. I literally was at work, and one of my coworkers was like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I just miss my life. I miss my life in New York. I miss like all like the cool restaurants, like the awesome fashion, my amazing friends that get me, and I get them, and we all like click."
Yeah.
And then people that understand me,
I know.
and
I
I
literally
literally
had
started
the
crying.
same thing happen to me. Although I
Yeah.
was crying in my own bed in my apartment, but I
Not that.
had the very same feeling. It's
Yeah.
so funny that you mentioned that.
Like
Yeah.
people here don't get me.
Yeah.
They're like, "Why?" Like,
Well, I
I'm
feel like
like,
my coworkers, because they're in the fashion industry, they get me a little bit more. So I have more of fun at work than I do after work, which is stupid to me
"That's
because,
weird."
I just met them.
Yeah, and I don't feel that way with my because I feel like people at my work at
Mhm.
Nordstrom, they don't care about fashion, they just care about selling it.
Oh,
And that's like the worst. So I'm like, I
no.
don't that they don't give a shit about fashion. Like they could care less. They just want to
Ugh,
sell shit and get out and go home. And I'm like,
wow. I'm very
yeah.
fortunate to work with a group of people who get fashion and
Yeah.
know fashion. I'm lucky in that aspect that at least I have them to talk to about New York.
Lucky you. Because I'm still trying to find that's why I get so excited when like friends from the past come to
Yeah.
Vegas. Because I'm like, oh, thank God. Like now
Thank God.
I know. I'm like now I feel like I could enjoy Vegas because I can hang out with someone that's just as like that's very similar and
Yeah.
approach and like and like exploring like I am. Like people aren't explorative, I guess,
Yeah. And
like
it's just
here.
these things. It's these things that we miss, and we can't be guilted for missing what we had in New York. Of course, New York
Mhm.
was a tough city, and a lot of times it slapped me a couple times. It
A
pushed me down the
couple.
stairs.
Right.
It
And
pushed
made
me
me
down the
suicidal.
stairs.
Pushed me down the stair, literally broke my damn
Yes.
foot. Like,
But
yeah.
everything else that I gained from it, like, why should I feel ashamed for talking about it?
Right. And then it's almost like you'll never understand unless you move there. and
And that's what
experience
it
it.
falls down to. That's what it falls down to.
Yeah, because it's definitely its own experience. And then people's like, "Oh, I've been there. I didn't like it." I'm like, "You were there for like 4 days, and you
And
went
you
to
went to
Times
Times
Square."
Square.
Yeah, I'm like, "That isn't New York, honey. You went to like all the basic places in New York. Like
Unless
you
you're
did."
going to Broadway, then okay, yeah, but
Yeah, I get it, but that's just a night. Like, and then you're going to places that are obvious. Like, duh, it was basic for you because you didn't really understand what you were doing. And the worst is when I tell people where to go and they don't go where I tell them to go and they
Oh,
end up
oh my
going
god,
to
that
fucking
pisses
Red
me off.
Lobster and
That pisses me off so much.
oh, I
Like,
hate it.
I have like a huge list of recommendations for New York. One of like all my favorite spots, literally a beautiful curated list of restaurants. And
Mm.
I always send people who ask me when they're going, and they never go. They never go to any restaurant that I
Right,
recommend.
right. They go to the basic ass places. I'm like, child, I'm over it. Like I
So I'm like,
try.
okay, then why did you ask for my list? You know, this is
Right.
like, it's not like it's a secret list, but it's like a very personal list that I curated.
That you have memories.
And I have memories where,
Yeah.
you know, and if you can find my picture on the wall, I'll give you bonus points,
Oh my
you know?
god. I think that's the bottom line. I feel like we just want people to have that same experience that we
I
had.
think so. Yes.
You know what I
That,
mean?
yes. And, I do feel bad sometimes for talking a lot about New York, but again, like you said, I just want them to have the same experience or like when they go to New York, remember when I talked about it and would maybe want to experience that and maybe want to like have that moment so that they can bring it back and talk about
Mhm.
it,
Yeah.
you know, and not just talk about, oh, I went to Times Square, oh, I went to Statue of Liberty. Like, no, you had a real New York moment in New York. You're
Right.
welcome.
Right. So I think that's the bottom line is that and then we miss it. We miss New York.
We do.
What can you say? But then we also understand that now is not the time to be living there because
Right.
we have to take priority on other things
Hmm.
besides the frivolous going out and having fabulous nights out and eating amazing food and wearing the best fashion.
Going to the best sample cells.
Yes. Walking to Central Park and
And
having those
having our
moments.
lunch.
Yes. So we've decided to put our mental health and our family ahead of that. So take that. We're not that shallow.
We're not. But speaking of that, if I ever go back to New York, I cannot not be rich.
Ab- Absolutely. I refuse to be in that level of living again where you have to do everything yourself and everything's far away from you. I just need to live in like a cute apartment or like a brownstone and just walk outside and everything's there.
A brownstone in the West Village, correction.
Yes, a brownstone.
Not
Or
anywhere else. Not
yeah,
anywhere else.
or like a penthouse in Tribeca. You
I
know,
mean,
small
simple.
dreams, small dreams.
Or a penthouse, on Fifth Avenue, overlooking Central Park.
Exactly.
You know.
Just billionaires row. Maybe. But anywho, that wraps up this episode of House of Tease. I hope it was, entertaining and fun and answer some questions for some of you out there that, always ask us or low
Mhm.
key think about it. Why do you bitches keep talking about New York? I'm over it.
Maybe you relate. Maybe you are that person too. Maybe you moved out of New York and back to your hometown and you are us and you can
Yeah,
relate.
like, it doesn't have to be in New York. Maybe you live in Las Vegas now and you came from Ohio or whatever.
Right.
Winnipeg. I don't know. Like, and then when you go
It
back
is.
home, I know, and then you go back home and you're like, oh my God, Las Vegas. Oh, it's the same thing,
Mhm.
literally.
It is the same thing.
It's because you are outside of your comfort level, your comfort zone. You feel like you've learned so much about yourself and you
Mhm.
want to share it with other people
And that's it.
that may or may not be in their comfort zone, you know?
And we're sorry that affects you.
Yeah. We're sorry you haven't had the best food that money can buy and the best people that you can meet and wearing the best fashions. I'm sorry. Real talk. I know.
Real talk, that part.
I know. But that's okay because you can still have that experience too by moving
Sure.
to New York. All right, guys. Thank you again so
Oh,
much for
thank you so
listening to
much.
our second episode of House of Tease. I hope to see you and hear from you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to all of our social medias at House of Tease, TikTok, IG. What else do we have? I think
I
that's what
think
we.
that's all we have for now.
Yeah.
And they're all House of Tease, HAUSOFTEASE.
Yes. And oh, and stay tuned for our website that will be hopefully launching in the next month or so. We're working on that. But
Mm.
anywho, we'll definitely keep you guys updated and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.